Hello everyone and welcome to another video and welcome to one of the best selling hatchback in Europe, which is the Skoda Fabia style color concept. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you all the interiors, the exteriors, and we'll be going on a short drive in this Skoda Fabia. Before we move forward, please consider subscribing to my channel by clicking the bell icon so that you never miss any video updates from my channel. So the Skoda Fabia style color concept comes with two-tone body color. So you get silver top roof and also the pillars and the side mirrors and the rims. There's also a black color option, so you can choose either of the two colors, and also you would get the complete side mirrors and rim in the black package also. And the base colors are red, green, blue, white, and black, and so many different options that you can choose from. So starting off from the front, you get the distinctive Skoda style grille, which is the vertical slotted grille in black color, and the chrome surround around it, and the new Skoda badging that you get out here. And these headlights are LED headlight cluster, and they are dynamic LED headlight cluster, and also they have the cornering lights in them. At the bottom you would find halogen fog lamps, but the styling is very similar to the Skoda lineup. So on the sides, really love the shape of this hatchback. It's such a fun little thing if you see from the side profile. And on the sides you get 17-inch alloy rims, and these are non-power foldable, but they are power adjustable side mirrors, and again the silver roof and the side mirrors along with the rims that you can customize to black, and also the rear doors which continue pretty much all the way till the back. So in the back, a very sorted and simplistic looking back that you would notice, and instead of the Skoda badging you have the Skoda inscription out here, and again an LED tail light out here. And then the actual tail light cluster is a mixture of LED and halogen bulbs, a reflector at the bottom, and the exhaust pipe is a single tip which is slightly under and behind the bumper. But in terms of the boot space, this is where the Skoda Fabia outshines any other hatchback. So you get 330 liters of boot space, which is super gigantic. And not even that, this boot separator is adjustable, so you can remove that and you can put it at the middle layer so as to divide the area in the inside the boot. And also the seats are foldable in a ratio of 60:40, and they can be folded from right here. Like there's a button given on the seat itself, so you can just fold them down. And when you fold those seats down, you get 1150 liters of boot space. Although the seats don't completely fall down, but yet how much ever they fall, they are still good enough to give you 1150 liters of boot space. There are also more storage options out here, like hooks and a strap where you can put maybe a bottle or something. And there are more cubby storage out here as options. And one more cool bit, you also get a spare wheel, a full size spare wheel, which is again your 17-inch spare wheel out here. And so they managed to give you 330 liters of boot space and also the spare wheel. That is pretty awesome. Well, Skoda Fabia prioritizes in terms of the sensibility and the usability. So you get normal plastic, but then good quality plastics everywhere. So you can feel actually that they are meant to last all the abuse during their entire lifetime of using it daily. So you get normal plastic dashboard out here, and also the door cards, but again good quality plastic even on the sides and out here. And then you get this brushed aluminum plastic trim to give you the aluminum effect. Now coming to the dashboard, you get two big dials on both the sides, which is again the Skoda design, typical Skoda design, and then a center screen in which you can change your different options, where you can have your vehicle settings that you can see. You can change the audio, you can also have the communications and various other settings that you can scroll through and have a look through that screen. So it's a very easy to use screen also. Now coming to the steering wheel is leather covered steering wheel, but then I find it a tad too bigger in size than the usual. I don't know, maybe it's just me, or I don't know, it could be just me, but yeah, I find it a little bigger. And on the right side you get the controls like a scroller and buttons to control the center screen, which is given to change all the different settings on it. And on the left side you would get the infotainment controls and your communication controls. And also there is a normal cruise control, but then in the very typical Skoda sense, it has been mounted on the column on the left side of the steering wheel behind it, and then you can control, everything is clearly marked, and you can use the cruise control. The steering wheel is manually adjustable, which is your tilt and telescopic. The infotainment screen is a 6.5-inch crystal clear infotainment screen, because I want to mention the fact crystal clear because it's a very nice and a crisp looking system, and it's a very responsive touch screen also, and everything has a shortcut around the menu, so you can use the radio options, you can have the media, you can have the phone, you can have the setup, and then setup has different options inside it. You can change the various bits like your units in which you want to see all the parameters on your car, and also you can have reset buttons and the screen and the sound and time and date and everything. Then there is also app options in which you can connect to the infotainment system given on the car itself, which I'm going to be coming in a bit. And then there is also a car option in which you can see your green score, how good you're driving, effectively you are driving, eco-friendly driving, and also you can have the driving data. You can have numerous other options, long-term, average, and all of that. There's vehicle status and all of that. So in terms of the connectivity, you get Bluetooth, USB, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and also the mirror link. So you can use either of these systems to connect to the infotainment screen. And then there are two big dials on both the sides to control the various functions. One is the volume knob and one is the scroller, but very, very easy to use. It's a very family friendly screen that they have put out here, which you can just get in and start using. Coming to the air conditioning controls, again they are all manual controls, and again very simple. So simplistic usage is what they've given priority in this cabin, instead of giving you plush interiors and complicated systems to operate, but instead it's just very simple, easy to use system. So you have dials for your AC, one is the fan dial and one is the temperature, and then you get just the normal climate control system, and then you can change your various other settings like your airflow and everything from here. And now in terms of the storage, you get 1 liter worth of bottle storage on the door cards. There is some more storage at the bottom under the air conditioning system. There is where you can put your phones, but then not big phones but small phones. And then there are weirdly some cup holders, but then the cup holder sizes are a little too small, I feel, than the usual. In fact, the second cup holder is actually very small, but the normal one is all right. I mean, they are deep enough, and but yet they sort of have this weird sort of design. And also you get the glove box, which is pretty huge. I mean, this is by far the biggest, even by a hatchback or even a sedan standards. So there is a lot of storage out here. And then there is a center armrest which is foldable, so you have ample of space otherwise. But when you don't or when you want to use the armrest, there is also one that you can put down. And also there is a bit of storage inside. I mean, I've just put a camera mount out here, but you can make out of there is decent amount of storage. You can put your wallet or something out here. There's also storage in the rear's door cards where you can put half a liter worth of bottle, and that is pretty much about it. There is also a glass holder. Again, a glass holder, which is pretty rare but given out here. Now coming to the seats, the seats are fabric seats, again in black color with the white stitching, and they are manually adjustable. So they are 6-way manually adjustable, and even the passenger seat is 6-way manually adjustable, but they are pretty broad and they are really comfortable. I've also mentioned before that fabric seats are really a good choice, because during summer season, especially in UAE, it's a task because leather seats tend to get really hot, but in this you will never have that sort of problem. So in the front glass you also get a clip to hold your parking ticket. Also notice that the engine start stop button is given out here instead of the usual place on the dashboard. So where the key would usually be, there is like a button given out here. But again, coming to the dashboard is actually a very usable space where you can put stuff and like your papers or books or anything, and then they would just stay there instead of the sort of sloping dashboard where everything keeps falling off. Now in the back there is decent amount of leg space, and these seats are in my driving position, so you get about this much of leg space out here. Also the seats are curving, so you get extra leg room, and also there is quite a bit of headroom because this car doesn't slope generally too much, so which is why you get a lot of head space. And also there is enough of space under the seats to slide your legs, but these seats are actually pretty upright, you know, instead of a little recline which you would find a little comfortable during the longer journeys, but they are like flattish relatively. And also the middle seat is pretty flat, you know, where the third or the middle passenger can easily sit. And also, you know, there is a bit of a tunnel out here, but that's not too much of a bother. So 3 people can sit out here, but then that will be a bit of a squeeze. But 2 people can easily sit, but it's a very comfortable hatchback that way. And again, you get fabric seats in the black fabric option, and this white stitching as a design. But here's one more bit, which is you get 3 headrests. Even for the middle passenger there is a headrest, and also it can drop down, and it's not like a fixed one, so it's not in the driver's way where in the rear view glass. Now coming to the rear view glass, actually the rear view glass is a little smaller than the usual, which tends to cut off a little bit from the bottom, you know, the visibility of the rear view. And you get 6-speaker music system in this car. Now in terms of the other storage, there is no handrest out here, so it's like a fixed seat which is in a ratio of 60:40. There is a small storage out here, probably to, you know, store your keys or something. And then there are 2 USB ports out here. So in terms of the connectivity or charging, you get 1 USB port and also one 120-watt power socket in the front and 2 USB ports in the back. So there are plenty of USB ports that way for a tiny little car. Also there are no AC vents in the back, and also no sunroof on this one. So the Skoda Fabia style color concept comes with a 1.6 liter multi-point fuel injection, which is the MPFI 4-cylinder petrol engine that produces 109 brake horsepower, and it produces 153 Newton meters of torque. Now this engine is mated to a 6-speed Tiptronic transmission, and it's a front wheel drive car. So coming to the engine straightforward, it although the power is less, but it's a decent engine, let me be honest, because it's a naturally aspirated, so it's just the straightforward engine gearbox you know, used. But what I find is sometimes while accelerating, the engine lacks that response. You know, when I press the throttle, it takes a little bit to respond. Unless you are in the sport mode, then it's a different case, because in the sport mode the throttle response is much more faster and, you know, much more rapid. But in this, it tends to hold back, but it wants to gradually accelerate, you know, and not like very aggressively accelerate. So in that sense, it's a little on the sluggish side, I would say. But whenever it's in the sport mode, it's a very, very aggressive gear changes, which I found, like, you know, when you are slowing down, it tends to, like, you know, change with a bit of a jerk, you know, the gears. But it is trying to make it look a little more sporty in the sport mode. But I get that point. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, it's okay. But in terms of the fuel economy, I'm averaging anywhere between 12 to 13 on this one. Also, you can go up to 14 if you are, you know, very light with your right foot. So, but the claimed average is somewhere between 18.5 kilometers per liter. So maybe on a longer run, you may be able to squeeze out that much of efficiency from the system. Now the suspensions on the Fabia are on the softer side, and as a result it gives the Fabia a bit of a roll. But coming to the steering wheel, and the steering response is pretty decent, I would say, because at higher speeds it seems like you are gliding a little bit, you know, it's a little flighty sometimes. But the turning radius is pretty small on this one because it's a hatchback, and also it's got a very short wheelbase, and as a result of that it can maneuver around tighter corners or also the narrower spaces. Now coming to the braking system, the Skoda Fabia has 2 front disc brakes and 2 drums in the back, but the braking action isn't compromised at all. Like, you know, Yeah, it grips really well. So the moment you slam the brake pedal, it really goes and catches the brakes properly. But coming to the safety systems, now you get two front airbags for the driver and the passenger, and then there are also other safety systems like the parking sensor. So there is no camera or anything on this one, just the parking sensor. And also there is ABS, there is electronic brake distribution, there is also the vehicle stability in general, and also you get the child isofix point in the rear, both the rear seats. But I mean, that is pretty much it in the safety department. But it's a solidly built car is what I can tell you for sure. Like, Skoda cars are well made and they have supreme build quality. That's a special thing to mention for sure. So the Skoda Fabia style color concept comes in at 66,000 dirhams, and the normal Skoda Fabia style comes wherein there is no two-tone body color but just one single color, comes in at 61,000 dirhams. So I mean, price wise it's a pretty up there, like with the competitors, and also it offers quite a bit of sensibility. So what's the final verdict, you may ask? Now Skoda has given a particular attention to the usability, the sensibility, and also the family friendly features, instead of giving you the interiors which are like lush and unnecessarily too much inside the cabin. But instead it's a straightforward, easy to use car. So in that sense it's a very everyday, and mind you, the build quality is extremely well, so that even the plastics, they would last really long. So in that sense it's a pretty sensible little hatchback for sure. Anyways, that is pretty much it for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked this one, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, then click here, and if you want to watch more videos, then click here. I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye and take care.